All eyes were on Usha Vance at the inauguration, as her elegant and understated look sparked a wave of admiration.
Her look seems to hold a deeper message about individuality and power within the political landscape. What could she be signaling? Let's find out. The 2025 Inauguration Day was one of the most anticipated events in recent times. While most eyes were on the Trump family, many pointed out that the Second Lady of the United States had something special about her look. But before we get to what was so staggering about her 2025 inauguration look, we have to talk about who this woman really is. Born Usha Bala Chilukuri in San Diego, California, on January 6, 1986, Usha Vance is an accomplished attorney and the wife of Ohio Senator J.D. Vance. Her life, defined by her intellect, grace, and strong personal values, is deeply rooted in the story of her parents, Indian immigrants who came to the United States in pursuit of opportunity and progress. With two loving parents, both immigrants from India, and a wonderful sister, Usha grew up in a household where education and hard work were held in the highest regard. She demonstrated a drive for excellence from an early age. Usha attended local schools in San Diego before heading to college, eventually earning admission to Yale University. There, she earned her undergraduate degree with summa cum laude honors, an academic distinction that set the stage for her continued success. While her exact academic focus during this time is less publicized, what is known is that she consistently excelled and earned the respect of her peers and professors alike. Her high achievement during her undergraduate studies led naturally to her next great step, attending Yale Law School, where her sharp intellect and deep determination would truly set her apart. It was during her time at Yale Law that Usha met J.D. Vance, a fellow student whose journey had its own remarkable path. While J.D.'s story as the author of Hillbilly Elegy has drawn significant attention, Usha's presence and achievements during this period were no less impressive. She dedicated herself to studying the complexities of the legal system, becoming a standout student known for her analytical skills and thoughtful perspectives. Her legal acumen earned her clerkships with some of the nation's most respected judges, including then-Judge Brett Kavanaugh on the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit and later Chief Justice John Roberts on the U.S. Supreme Court. Despite her natural fit for the demanding field of law, Usha approached her career with balance and pragmatism. After completing her prestigious clerkships, she joined the San Francisco-based law firm Munger, Tolley's & Olson, where she worked on complex civil litigation. Her role required a high level of skill and focus, and she quickly became known among her colleagues for her professionalism and ability to grasp intricate legal issues. Those who worked closely with her have remarked on her ability to manage the high stakes of litigation with poise and a sharp eye for detail. Away from her professional endeavors, Usha has always remained grounded by her family and cultural heritage. As a practicing Hindu and the daughter of Telugu-speaking Indian immigrants, she grew up embracing both the traditions of her family's roots and the opportunities of her American upbringing. It's clear that her cultural background influenced her ability to move through different spheres of society with confidence and grace. This ability is often reflected in the way she engages publicly, with a measured, respectful, and thoughtful demeanor that speaks volumes without needing to be loud or overt. Her relationship with J.D., which began in law school, grew steadily as the two found commonality not only in their academic ambitions but also in shared values. They married in 2014, committing themselves to a partnership that balanced their individual careers and ambitions while supporting one another through the challenges of professional life. Together, they now have 3 children, Ewan, born in 2017, Vig, born in 2020, and Mirabel, born in 2021, who have brought new dimensions to their lives. The couple often maintains a private family life, but glimpses of their dedication as parents are evident from J.D.'s interviews and their occasional public appearances as a family. Throughout her rise as a legal professional and her role as a supportive spouse to a public figure, Usha has consistently carried herself with an air of understated confidence. While her appearances at political and public events may not make frequent headlines, they often highlight her presence and poise. Usha has a natural ability to command attention through simplicity and elegance. The careful, measured way in which she navigates the complexities of public life alongside her husband reflects both her intelligence and a dedication to the greater purpose they share. Still, Usha is not immune to the challenges that come with her unique position as the spouse of a rising political figure in America. JD's political career has attracted scrutiny from various groups, and as part of this world, Usha herself has occasionally been the subject of pointed comments. Despite this, she has never publicly addressed such incidents in depth, choosing instead to focus on her family and career. Her resilience in the face of these challenges speaks to her strength of character and composure under pressure. In addition to her accomplishments and public-facing roles, it's worth noting that Usha embodies the values and complexity of modern multicultural identity in America. She occupies a position at the crossroads of multiple cultural narratives, an intersection where tradition meets progress and identity is shaped by the interplay of heritage and lived experience. As someone going through the cultural nuances of Indian and American life while also operating within the elite circles of law and politics, she offers a quiet but powerful example of adaptability and grace. While much of her focus remains on her family and professional commitments, there is a quiet strength in the way she contributes to the wider dialogue about cultural integration and representation. By simply existing in these spheres of influence and succeeding on her own terms, she demonstrates the values that her upbringing instilled in her and the possibilities that come with determination and hard work. Usha's journey to this point is one defined by discipline, resilience, and unwavering dedication to the people and principles that matter to her. From her childhood in San Diego to her roles as a wife, mother, attorney, and now a public figure, she carries the weight of these responsibilities with a thoughtful deliberation that speaks volumes about who she is. While Usha may not have sought out the spotlight, her presence in her husband's political life has naturally drawn her into it. Over the years, her appearances at public events have highlighted her quiet elegance and refined taste, a style that reflects both her measured personality and the values she holds close. What sets Usha apart isn't flash or grandeur, but rather a sense of intentionality that underscores everything she does, including what she wears. In the years leading up to J.D. Vance's rise as a U.S. Senator and later as Vice President, Usha was often seen as a behind-the-scenes figure, providing support while keeping her focus on family and career. Her appearances during J.D.'s Senate campaign and subsequent events displayed a consistent approach, thoughtfully selected pieces that avoided excess while maintaining an understated sophistication. Neutrals dominated her wardrobe: navy blues, blacks, whites, and earth tones, choices that seemed to convey a desire to complement rather than outshine the events or individuals around her. One notable public moment came during the night of J.D.'s Senate election win in 2022. As cameras captured the celebration, Usha stood beside her husband in a simple yet elegant navy blue dress. While the outfit wasn't overly adorned, its classic cut and refined tailoring mirrored the stability and poise she represents. The choice of understated tones blended seamlessly with the atmosphere of the evening, emphasizing unity and composure. Her fashion choices during smaller campaign events followed a similar theme. For rallies and town halls, Usha opted for fitted blazers and structured dresses in neutral shades, often pairing these pieces with practical footwear. The balance between professional polish and relatability became a defining feature of her public wardrobe. Her practical, minimalist choices showed thoughtfulness. She dressed for the occasion, not to draw attention, yet remained striking in her precision. As J.D.'s political career accelerated, bringing the couple onto larger stages, Usha's style subtly evolved. One of her first highly publicized appearances came at a bipartisan dinner held shortly after J.D. was sworn in as senator. Here, she chose a striking black midi dress paired with a pearl necklace and low heels, an ensemble that struck a perfect chord between modern and traditional aesthetics. The look projected respect for the formality of the event while staying true to her understated persona. This mix of practicality and elegance became a hallmark of Usha's appearances, quietly telling a story about who she is and the life she's chosen to lead. As the wife of Donald Trump's running mate, Usha's professional background as an attorney is clearly reflected in her sartorial decisions. She brings a polished, no-nonsense sensibility to her wardrobe choices, steering away from trends and focusing on timeless sophistication. Instead of timeless functional pieces, every piece seems to say that she has something meaningful to contribute, and that her appearance supports that message, not the other way around. But why does her inauguration look mean so much more? We will find that out really soon. Over time, Usha's understated elegance grew increasingly prominent during key moments in her husband's journey. At J.D.'s swearing-in ceremony as a senator, Usha donned a tailored grey coat with a chic belt, adding a pair of subtle black gloves and ankle boots. It was a masterclass in formality without flashiness, offering a quiet nod to the solemnity of the event. Observers noted the uniformity of her outfit alongside the navy suits and muted ties worn by others, underscoring her commitment to tradition and shared purpose in this important political moment. Her emphasis on subtleties didn't go unnoticed. While Usher avoided stealing the show at such events, her understated approach resonated deeply with those who appreciated her thoughtfulness. Social media comments often spotlighted her quiet composure as refreshing and inspiring, especially in an era where high-profile figures frequently make their mark through bold statements or larger-than-life appearances. But beneath this consistency lies something deeper, a willingness to adapt while staying true to herself. Usher's growing role in the public eye pushed her to balance humility with small steps of boldness in her wardrobe during high-profile dinners, charity galas, and campaign gatherings. Observers began to notice subtle flourishes, a pop of color here, a striking neckline there, signaling an openness to stepping further into the limelight. For example, at a formal gathering in Washington, D.C., Usher wore a deep emerald green sheath dress that stood apart from her usual monochromatic choices while still following her refined, reserved aesthetic. As the years went by, her wardrobe began to reflect her evolving confidence as a public figure. She experimented cautiously with cuts and colors that carried greater visual impact but never overwhelmed her overall sense of grace. It became evident that, even as she adjusted to the higher visibility of her role, she held firm to the understated style she'd always favored. Usher's appearances also offered glimpses of her cultural heritage, albeit subtly. At a fundraiser dinner in 2023, for example, she accessorized a formal gown with a pair of delicate bangles that reportedly held personal significance, subtly paying homage to her Indian roots. Such moments revealed her thoughtful integration of cultural identity into a broader narrative of modern American life, where individuality and tradition coexist in harmony. Beyond appearances tied to politics, Usher's style in family-oriented or community events demonstrates her ability to connect in a deeply relatable way. At public gatherings for children's programs or during informal campaign stops, she often opted for comfortable but polished attire, cardigans, neatly tailored trousers, and practical flats. These instances served as a reminder that she isn't merely a political spouse or public figure, she's also a mother, a wife, and a professional whose roles extend far beyond the stage. Her growing prominence in the political landscape, coupled with her unassuming poise, even began drawing comparisons to figures like Michelle Obama and Laura Bush, women whose fashion choices reflected not only personal style but also a careful balance of modernity and respect for tradition. Throughout history, political figures and their spouses have strategically used their attire to make statements, reflect cultural moments, and influence public perception. First ladies, in particular, have been at the forefront of this sartorial diplomacy. Former First Lady Michelle Obama, for instance, often chose designs that showcased American talent and diversity, subtly promoting inclusivity and national pride. Her fashion choices were seen as a blend of accessibility and elegance, resonating with a broad audience. Melania Trump, on the other hand, frequently selected ensembles that exuded a sense of high fashion and formality, occasionally sparking discussions about the messages her attire conveyed during significant events. The colors and styles adopted by political figures are laden with symbolism too. Neutral tones such as black, navy, and gray are traditionally associated with stability, authority, and professionalism. These hues are staples in political wardrobes, especially during formal events, as they project a sense of seriousness and reliability. In contrast, brighter colors can signify confidence, individuality, and a willingness to stand out. For example, Jacqueline Kennedy's iconic pink suit became a symbol of youthful elegance and modernity during her time as First Lady. Inauguration events, in particular, have historically been stages where fashion choices are meticulously analyzed. The attire worn during these ceremonies is often interpreted as a reflection of the incoming administration's ethos and the First Lady's role within it. This is where we evaluate all the finds, see if we want to keep them, and if they fit into our budget. For instance, during the 2017 inauguration, Melania Trump's choice of a powder blue Ralph Lauren ensemble was seen as a nod to Jacqueline Kennedy, suggesting a desire to evoke a sense of timeless American elegance. The predominance of muted shades at political events creates a backdrop where any deviation becomes particularly striking. In such settings, a bold color choice is not merely a fashion statement, but a deliberate act of communication. It can draw attention, convey confidence, and signal a break from tradition or an embrace of change. The statement in pink, "Well, you see, the 2025 presidential inauguration was mostly a sea of somber hues and formal textures, black, navy, and gray dominating the palette of Trump's political circle." That is, until one striking exception caught every eye. And now, Usha Vance's inauguration look has everyone thinking the same thing: she was there with a purpose. The new second lady arrived in a vibrant bubblegum pink Oscar de la Renta ensemble, and against the dark backdrop of subdued sophistication, her bold choice not only turned heads but also raised questions. Was this merely a playful divergence or a deliberate statement? Usha's choice of attire has captured imagination, but more importantly, it offers an insight into a potential shift in how she plans to navigate her new role. Politicians and their spouses don't choose their outfits lightly, especially during monumental moments like inaugurations. Their looks are carefully curated to convey messages, whether consciously or unconsciously, and Usha's dress stands as an intentional contrast to her environment. For context, pink is not a color we often see on Usha during major political events. Throughout her husband's vice presidential campaign, her wardrobe favored muted neutral tones: a tan sweater on Election Day, a gray outfit at a rally in Ohio, and a cream sweater during a major appearance in Atlanta, Georgia. Even her show-stopping debut at the National Gallery of Art, days before the inauguration, a strapless black gown was grounded in simplicity and timelessness. So why now? Why, at one of the most closely scrutinized events in her public life, would Usha step so drastically out of her sartorial comfort zone? According to experts, pink often symbolizes femininity, approachability, and warmth. It's a color tied to optimism, softness, and even a quiet sort of rebellion. Standing beside her husband and the first family, enveloped in their darkly hued attire, Usha's bright pink look seemed to whisper something different, something apart from the dominant story. Her legal career, studied with prestigious clerkships and intellectual rigor, suggests someone who values substance over spectacle. Good evening. When I was asked to introduce my husband, J.D. Vance, to all of you, I was at a loss, but at the same time, her quiet appearances during the campaign trail sometimes gave the impression of a woman deferring to her husband's political ambition. This dress, however, revealed a side of Usha that perhaps hadn't been fully visible before. The choice of pink likely came with an inherent understanding of its implications. This wasn't just about standing out visually. According to insiders, it was about offering a contrast in meaning. Perhaps Usha is setting the stage for the next phase of her public role, not as someone overshadowed by her husband's rising career, but as an individual whose presence, opinions, and yes, choices will continue to leave an impression of their own. Finally, what do you think about her 2025 inauguration attire choice? Let us know in the comments.